Did you know that your breakfast choices actually could be sabotaging your blood sugar and also your heart health? Most people have no idea that starting the day with the wrong foods can actually lead to dangerous blood sugar spikes and also even crashes.
Today, we are revealing the best heart healthy, blood sugar friendly breakfasts that are not only delicious, but can also set up for a healthier day.
And so we've got some easy science-backed breakfast ideas.
So, stick around. You definitely don't want to miss this. So, the first important thing that you don't want to forget in your breakfast is protein. So, protein help you keep full. It also stabilizes your blood sugar and supports your muscle maintenance. So, that's one important component or one important nutrient that you don't want to forget to include in your breakfast. So, examples of such proteins can be eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu, lean meat, or protein shakes in general.
Yes, yes, yes. And you may actually like some other proteins that we do not mention here. This is not a complete list, but if you have any other means of getting healthy proteins, of course, then obviously they will all qualify as some of the proteins that you can use for your breakfast. The other thing that a healthy breakfast should contain is whole grains, right? Because grains provide fiber and also complex carbohydrates for sustained energy. If you want to, go out into the day stronger and not just crashing because you are weak, you got to have sustainable energy. And those are locked in, complex carbohydrates, which most of them are whole grains. So that is another thing. And the examples of some oatmeal, one of which we're going to show you how you make it. I'm pretty sure you know how to make an oatmeal, but we did some video recorded on how we make ours at least, and I'm going to show those to you. So that's oatmeal and also whole grain bread. That's another one we use, right? And then you can also say more
We have the quinoa,
quinoa,
or browned rice.
rice.
Yeah, that you have to include in your breakfast. Another component that we want to talk about aside the protein and the whole grain is healthy fats. So healthy fats, as we all know, supports brain functions. It also gives your heart health, keep your heart healthy, and it keeps you full for a very long time. So example of healthy fats, as we've been saying it over and over, include avocados, nuts. It also includes seeds or small amounts of olive oil somewhere in your breakfast.
Somewhere in your breakfast, you could add that to it to get the healthy sources of fat. And for olive oil, you could use it to fry your egg. So you have your protein in the egg, and then the oil that you use to fry your egg will be the olive oil, which you could get from it. Instead of doing the bad seed oil for your egg, you could do the olive oil. So healthy fats for you. And the other component of a healthy breakfast is fiber-rich fruits and veggies. They are packed with actually vitamins and minerals, and that's where most of us get our vitamins from, unless you take more than vitamins. But if your sources of vitamin are from foods, then you're going to be looking out and reaching for the fiber-rich fruits and veggies. Tons of examples that we can mention, but suffice to say that that's where you get most of your vitamins, your minerals, and also more fiber that help regulate your blood sugar levels.
So examples of such fruits are berries, right? All kinds of berries that is common in your area. You can include that in your breakfast. You can also include spinach, tomatoes, bell peppers, low glycemic carbohydrates. We just want to stress that part. It's not any carbohydrate at all. The low glycemic form of it is what you want to include in your breakfast.
That's you already gone to the carbohydrates, right?
Right.
As we're talking about fruits. Okay, so the carbohydrates, you need to make sure that you are using the low glycemic carbohydrates, and even with the fruits too, you got to make sure that you're not doing the only sweet fruit. Some people like fruits just because they always taste good, but you got to be intentional, especially if you have an issue with blood sugar or you are concerned with making sure that your blood sugars don't spike or don't go up, then obviously reach out for the fruits that have low glycemic index. In other words, those that are less sweet. It's obvious if it's not as sweet, then there's less sugar in it, right? So yours would be like the berries and all those sour, Granny Smith apples, green apples, stuff like that. Even though they are fruits, they look green and they taste less sweet. So those will be the ones you want.
And the ones that you want to stay away, I think if your blood sugar is not well controlled, bananas, right?
Bananas,
That has
yeah.
it has a high glycemic index. The oranges, the mangoes, those all have high amounts of sugar in there that you want to minimize it as much as possible if you want to lower your blood sugar for sure.
All right. So with the examples of the carbohydrates that you can use for breakfast or for any meal for that purpose, you could use the sweet potatoes, right? Sweet potatoes are healthy carbohydrates. Even though the name says sweet, it's not bad. It's not as sweet, and of course you're not going to kind of binge on it. It's just a few pieces that you use, right? So those are good examples, and they are rich in potassium and other nutrients. So those are something that you can use as sources of your carbohydrate. You could also use whole grain cereals, and then low sugar fruits, as I already mentioned, also for a source of carbohydrate. So you can have your carbohydrate sources from your fruits, low sugar fruits, as well as from other sources, or especially if you're doing plant-based diet, right?
Another one that you want to consider is hydration. Hydration. If you want to stay regular and if you want the system to work effectively, you don't want to go without drinking, having a source of water in your breakfast, like with your breakfast. So some of them is like water. You would definitely won't go wrong with water, right? You can also include green tea with your breakfast. You can do black tea. You can do all forms of teas. Hibiscus tea, right? You can also include, if you're a coffee drinker, you can go with black coffee that you want to include. That will fall under hydration.
Black coffee, definitely. All right. So with that being said, let's go to the specific examples and some of the videos we actually recorded in our own house, showing you how we make it for ourselves. This is the first breakfast that this is actually my favorite. All right. So let's talk about this. Why are you laughing? It looks good, right? This is my quick grab and go breakfast. You just brew your coffee, and then you cut up your pieces of avocado, and instead of using butter, you put it in a what do you call it, a whole grain bread, a toast, and then your couple of eggs on the side, and then you are out. So let's discuss the components here, and then let's see also if anybody can tell us what is missing as we go forward, so we know that you're paying attention. All right. So yes.
Yes, so I think I'll start with the black coffee, right? So that will fall under hydration, that it has a lot of water that is coming with it. The important thing that you want to make sure that you don't do is to add sugar to your coffee. So it's something that I'm learning, and I think I'm almost there.
You are there.
That
Come on.
I'm
You are
there.
there. You are there. You are
Yeah.
there.
I drink my coffee black, no added sugar. That's something that people are finding it very difficult or hard to grasp. But trust me, it is possible. If you try it, just give it a try and see how that will go. So under hydration, you have your black coffee. If you want to replace that with tea, if you're a tea drinker, you just brew your tea and you put in the tea in there, any form of tea, black tea, hibiscus tea,
Green
green
tea,
tea,
chai tea,
yeah, any
all
tea.
kinds of
It
tea.
comes with different flavors. So you just want to find one that you're comfortable with, and that can be the source of hydration.